Hi everybody, just wanted to make you a quick review video for your quiz today. One of the questions that you're going to see on your quiz today is going to ask you to find the value of x, and we'll have a picture very similar to the one that you see on the screen. Remember that there was a theorem that said when a radius intersects a tangent, they create a 90-degree angle. And as we can see right here, we have a right triangle, which means we can go ahead and we can use the Pythagorean theorem, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now, the most important part of the Pythagorean theorem is the c value, which happens to be your hypotenuse. Remember my little trick? You want to go ahead and find the side of your triangle that has no 90 degree. So here it is. There's no 90 degrees at either end. So this is going to be my c value. And then the other two are your a and your b. And it doesn't matter which way you put them. So I'm going to have x, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to square it. That means I'm going to do x times x. And here I'm going to do 48 squared, which is, of course, 48 times 48. And here I'm going to go ahead and take the 80, and I'm going to square it 80 times 80. So just really quickly, remember you're multiplying 48 times 48. And here you're multiplying 80, there we go, times 80. Okay, so x times x is x squared. 48 squared is 2,304, and 80 squared is 6,400. Remember, you want to pay attention to which side of the equal sign your two numbers are. Since if I were to circle them, they would be on opposite sides. They are divided by the equal sign. So I cannot add them together. I must actually take the one over by the x and subtract it. And then my last step is going to be to get rid of that square, 4,096. The last step is going to be to get rid of the square, and I'm going to do that by taking the square root. So don't forget to go ahead and take the square root of both sides. The square root of 4,096 is 64, which would, of course, be my answer. All right, one of the questions that you're going to see today is going to be asking you to name some parts of the circle. So here is the circle. It's very similar to the one that you will see. And I've gone ahead and I've just put the parts, some of the parts that you could be asked. AF. So AF. It is going from the side of the circle into the center. So this would be the radius. EC. Let's find EC. There it is. EC goes from one end of the circle to the other, right through my center of F. So this is my diameter. GH. There's GH. GH looks like it could be a radius or it could be a diameter, but notice it's not going through the center. So this is what is called a chord. This is a chord. Line JK. Line JK is skimming the circle and only touching it once right here. So this is a tangent. Remember, if a line goes through the circle and not the center, then it's called a secant. So if GH had continued like so, then I would call this one a secant. This one I would call a secant. Okay? And the last one, the point L is this point where the tangent is touching the circle. So this is called our point of tangency. There we go. All right, let's take a look at what another question could look like. In this question, they want us to go ahead and find the measure of arc ST. Find the measure of arc ST. Ooh, ST. Hold on a second. I'm going to use my color to help me here. I was thinking they were going to ask me to find this one because they gave me this angle. And I remember in the theorem it said when the angle was not at the center, I would just go ahead and multiply 61 times 2, and that would give me the measure of TU. Yes. So 61 times 2 would be, and this would equal the measure of TU's arc. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm just double checking. Yeah, this is 122. Okay, okay, but I still haven't found SU. Oh, wait a minute. This is a diameter. I know it's a diameter because they have marked the center as P. If this is a diameter, then this is a semicircle, and so is that. And I know that a semicircle is 180 degrees. So what I know, and I'm going to grab another color, is that this is 180. I also know that this is 180. And 180 plus 180, of course, makes my 360, which is my whole circle. So I'm going to take my 180 and I'm going to take away the 122 that I just found, and that is going to give me my answer. There it is. There is my answer. SU is 58. All right, let's take a look at this next question. I remember seeing something like this, and I'm thinking that all I have to do is I have to make this angle with its chords. There it is. And I want to say I need to be focus on this arc because I remember there's being a thing that said a theorem that said if there were two angles that intercept the same arc, then the angles are congruent. So here I'm going to look at this angle and I'm going to say, well, look, let me follow this chord back and this chord back. There it is. Angle K, which is this one right here, the measure of angle K is equal to the measure of angle L, which is 28 degrees. Man, that was easy. All right. Oh, this one. There's a quadrilateral inscribed inside a polygon, or there is a quadrilateral inscribed inside a circle. And what the theorem said is that opposite sides add to 180 degrees. Let me make my pen a little bit smaller. But I know that the x's, that 2x plus 64 has to equal 180 degrees. I also know that the 4y and the 64 have to equal 180 degrees. So here are my two equations to solve. I'm just going to solve each one and solve for x and then solve for y. So let me go ahead and get these ready. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 64. And then I'm going to go ahead and divide that by 2. So 180 minus 64 is 116. I'm going to go ahead and divide that by 2. 58. Over here, I'm going to subtract my 64. Since it gave me the same number, I already know that it's going to be 116. I'm going to divide by 4. 116 divided by 4 is 29. All right. Find the measure of angle 1. If my memory serves me correct, this is the one where to find the measure of angle 1, I needed this arc and I needed this outside arc right here. Okay, so I have to use the fact that my whole circle is 360 degrees. And I'm going to have to find that peach part. So I'm going to take my 360, which is my whole circle. I'm going to subtract the 111. You know what? Let me show you the 111 and there we go. And then I'm going to take away both of the 104s because that's going to give me my peach part. Think about it. The whole circle all the way around is 360 degrees. So if I take away this part and these two parts, right, that's going to give me that peach part that I need. So minus 111 minus 104 minus another 104, and I get an answer of 41 degrees. Okay, now the theorem says the measure of angle 1 is half the outside arc minus the inside arc. 111 minus 41, oops, 111 minus 41 is 70. 1/2 times 70, or remember, you can think of this as 70 divided by 2. You can think of it as 70 divided by 2 equals 35 degrees. There's your answer. All right. And I do believe this is our last question. Find the value of x. So this came from our last lesson, and this is the one where we took um, our two chords and we thought of them as being in pieces, right? We thought of them as being in pieces. And we said the pink piece is equal to the multiplication of the two parts of the pink piece. So x times 9 in my pink piece is equal to the multiplication of the parts of my blue piece. 3 times 6. Remember, there's really no reason why I put them in that order. I could have done 9 times x, which is exactly what I'm going to put it as, 9x. And I could have done 6 times 3 because 3 times 6 and 6 times 3 is both 18. I just now solve. I'm just now going to solve. And 18 divided by 9 is 2. All right, let me check. Yep, that is the last of our lesson. Good luck on your quiz today.